Water. Earth. Fire. Air.
Oh, yeah!
Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only the Avatar, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 100 years passed and my brother and I discovered the new Avatar, an airbender named Aang. And although his airbending skills are great, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone. But I believe Aang can save the world.
No, I'm just kidding. This game plays like dog turd. The launch for this game was terrible. It had such ridiculous specs that they used up so much resources on my CPU even at recommended settings. But I'm going to be fair with it because I was able to play it. You play as Frey, an orphan left to fend for herself on the streets of New York. After the judge lets you off for a felony charge of Grand Theft Auto, you're attacked by the gang members that gave you the job.
We will leave your body in this fucking alley, and I promise you, no one is going to miss you.
Oh, breaking me!
Damn you, Frank!
After escaping the thugs, you return home to your cat Homer and a bag full of money, with big dreams to escape from New York. But as usual, in Faye's life, nothing goes to plan.
Homer! Girl, come on, we gotta go!
The street thugs find your home and set your apartment ablaze, forcing you to leave the bag of money inside. In Faye's darkest moment, she stands above the city contemplating the worst.
Full circle.
She doesn't do it. But a guiding light leads her to a magical bracelet that transports her to another world.
Oh, hello, yes. Oh, perhaps you're smarter than you look.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You, the one talking to me right now, are this... cuff?
Now permanently bonded to the talking bracelet, you set off into the world of Ethiel.
Because it's not as it seems.
You tell me that now? Shit!
Well, don't just stand there.
Slaying minor beasts with your newly acquired magical powers. This intro takes like an hour, by the way. This is the first time you throw hands in the game.
Did I just do that?
Well, definitely with my assistance.
I did not just do that.
We did.
I just moved shit with my mind.
Perhaps our connection?
A short time after that, you're engulfed by a mysterious fog.
What now?
Well, for starters, I think we should run.
What?
Fighting for your life against an enormous dragon was absolutely epic. And was a long time coming considering how long the intro was. And soon after that, in an aerial battle against the demon, you're thrown from the dragon and emerge from a cliffside.
Oh, this is exciting.
Over here! Oh, we're saved.
Settle.
The people of the sea believe you're a demon,
Who are you, child? Who are you?
and they tell you that the break has infected anyone who dares venture outside the sea.
She is hell's spawn. How else could she survive in the corruption?
A woman named Auden Keene decides to speak up for you, and the council decides not to execute you. You're then thrown into a dungeon. You escape imprisonment with the help of the peasant girl, and go off in search of her father's research, which could potentially return you back to your world. Instead of finding the research, you find her father half corrupted by the break.
I get inside and sometimes I can't, but I try. I have to.
But when you return to the city, it's attacked by one of the three great Tundas, mythical witches that rule over the land. The game faces you off against one of Tantasila's flaming minions.
Let's finish this once and for all.
And once you defeat it, the city is left in ruins. A small child that helped you when you first arrived didn't make it, and Faye swears revenge upon the evil Tantas.
A clear majority. The girl must be surrendered to Tantasila at once.
No need. I'll go to her myself.
At this point you gain access to the open world and are free to explore the vast landscape that is Athia. So the gameplay mostly consists of running through the plains on the way to your main objective. The map is huge, with lots of points of interest away from the main objective that you can explore, all with resources and upgrades to get out your character. There are challenges, dungeon bosses, towers full of lore, and permanent stat increases. But the rewards felt lackluster, and when you move to other areas in the game, they're all basically just the same. Gear, chests, loot, dungeon bosses, all of it is just copied and pasted and is entirely skippable. If you are playing on a low difficulty setting, then I think you could just skip most of the farming and exploring and just run to the three main bosses of the game. Casting walls of fire, throwing massive clumps of dirt, blasting ice sheets and electrifying enemies was satisfying as fuck. And having a system to cast attack spells or support spells was interesting. I played around with the button configuration and it was fun. I changed the controller to use the analog sticks to bring up support magic and attack magic, while movement and zip lines were on the trigger buttons. This made the game feel more fluid. I did change its settings so that the support magic cycled around automatically, but it made the game feel so easy it felt like the combat was on autopilot, and I was torn between keeping it on and turning it off. I would have preferred to use mouse and keyboard because the lock-on feature doesn't seem to work properly on controller and has to be constantly reapplied, but the key bindings for mouse and keyboard are absolutely atrocious. The default bindings are all mapped to two separate buttons, and some you cannot change or remove. It was a pain even trying to set up simple controls in this game.
Insolent, unrepentant, murderous creature. You will rot here forever. Forever!
Sadly, I don't think we'll be getting out of this without another fight.
The characters in this game are completely uninteresting, and I didn't care for any of them except for the three Tantas. But you spend so little time with them before the game goes from 0 to 100, and then you have to kill them. The people who made this game thought that it would be interesting to scatter books and lore around the insanely large map to describe the story, rather than let it unfold through the characters and environment. And by the end of the game, they just tell you anyway, with insanely long cutscenes and character dialogue. I'm telling you what's happening now, I'm telling you what's happened before, I'm telling you where to go now, the map has already told you to go here, and if you want more story, go find it in a book and go read it yourself. There's no NPCs to talk to when you leave the city because the land is uninhabitable by the curse of the break. But after you kill the Tantas, nobody returns to the open world. There are no survivors, like one you saved at the beginning, and there's no magical creatures to interact with. It's so desolate that the only person to talk to is your bangle. I mean, the voice acting is fine for the most part, but Faye and her bangle talk to each other a lot. I think this is due to the lack of NPCs, and for some reason, when they do decide to talk, They make you stand completely still between these lines of dialogue, and there are long pauses after talking to any NPC in the main scene. The music in the game is fine, but the only song that's remotely memorable is the main menu theme song. The rest is pretty meh. As an Avatar fanboy, the magic system screamed Legend of Aang, but the story and main character play out more like Legend of Korra. It's a poorly optimised, average at best story set in a hollow open world. The only saving grace is that the combat, the parkour, and the magic is epic. I did enjoy it for the most part, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody at full price. It would have been a good to average game if it had been properly optimised, but currently Forspoken is hot garbage.
Just being in this place makes me miserable.
It's definitely not the most welcoming.